I know it was warm, but when I left the house today to come here, it was a 70 at my house, so.
Call the meeting to order. The Walpole Sewer and Water Commission, Monday, October 6th, 6:30 PM, Town Hall, Finance Committee Room, 135 School Street. We have a posted agenda. First thing on the agenda is the minutes of September 22.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
the only thing I saw is on page 1, 4 lines up where it says, "And put in a new Mueller fire hydrant. We are beginning out," should be "our." Other than that, looked fine.
What is this, page 2?
No, page 1,
Yep.
4 lines up. Basically, in the middle, it says, "We are beginning out annual well cleaning." No, "our."
Beginning out.
I think it should be cleaning our well cleaning program. Other than that, I'd make a motion, we approve the minutes.
I have a change on page 3.
Page 3.
Yeah. Open a meeting law complaint. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, okay.
The commissioner then took a roll call vote. So, but that statement is following after Lawson Finance Committee realized that the board had committed an open meeting, and the commission then took a roll call vote to enter executive session to discuss consideration and open
What line?
7th line.
So,
You see that, Terry?
I see the line, but I don't know what the change is.
So the word then, it seems that we took a roll call in this while discussing this meeting.
Just remove that.
Just, yeah,
so it would be the commissioners took.
yeah.
Okay.
Okay, all in favor?
Well, I'm making a motion
amend?
with those 2 changes
Yeah.
to approve the minutes of September 22nd.
I second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed?
I'm not voting because I came in late.
Abstain? Okay, 401. All right. Now we have the hard copy superintendent's status report. Remember him, Stephen Nunnery? He used to be our superintendent.
Where is the superintendent?
Not here. See, I can just,
There's one thing, with the last meeting, we had asked during the discussion of the superintendent status report, we had asked the status of water meter upgrades. It's in the meeting notes, and we never received any updates on that water meters, how many water meters are installed. Yes, please go ahead.
okay. Let's see. He's continuing annual hydrant flushing. Wrap up at October 13. Pilot treatment plant programs, PFAS pilot up at the Delaney. HEW Willis plant, we have a pilot continuing there. And MIEX exchange pilot. We expect the pilot to go through 2026. And then we have notes about conceptual designs of PFAS removal from the Delaney plant. And we have comments about 2 PFAS components that we need to lower below 4 parts per trillion, PFOA and PFOS. Septic receiving facility received 41,700 gallons September. looking back into September 2024, we took in 220,800 gallons. So we're having a low utilization there, and Bay State Septage that bought All Seasons filed an application but pulled it. So they say there's difficulty in obtaining the MWRA discharge permits. That's unfortunate. That's a revenue bucket for the town. Bill?
Yeah, I would think we'd be concerned about that. This looks like that a third of the calendar year is going to be without the hauler, who was our largest hauler all seasons, and the Bay State Septage, who bought it, apparently isn't, or at this time isn't going to use. So I'd be interested to find out what the impact is. Where do we stand at this point, and are we going to have a shortfall, or, I mean, certainly it
Right.
indicates that we will, but
Well, I think more importantly is this notation that the MWRA is giving them difficulty. They're difficult and problems obtaining discharge permits. If that's true, that's what we ought to explore, is why is the MWRA blocking people from using the septage facility? They should make it easy for them instead of difficult.
I think it would be important to find out why. I mean, is it a problem with the MWA not wanting to take on somebody, or is it the new hauler who is new? I don't know what it would be, but doesn't have the right equipment. I have no idea, but I think
Yeah.
it's worthwhile to find out what the problem is.
It's easy to find out.
Yeah,
What I need to do is ask them. You know, when the environment is every place. So if Foxborough can't dump their septage, and Norfolk can't dump their septage, those towns have a close contact with us via the aquifer, Sharon too. So I think if they had a permit in the past, I think we could lobby them to renew the permit for this company because it makes sense. I mean, you don't want this stuff being hauled across the state, right? You want it to be, it benefits us and it benefits the hauler. And it benefits the MWRA because they get the money. Because we're not talking about a huge amount here.
this is typical of
Do we know
big
where-
government. You know, they allegedly want to clean up the environment. What you say is correct. They don't like the commingling of waste from one town to another. They want it
Okay, do you
from one
authorize
town.
me to go
Why
chat
don't you,
with them?
yeah, find out, because it's a question, but there's no reason why Hawley can't show us a record and say a third of this is from Medfield and a third is from Walpole.
Okay.
And then if there's some additional fee that they want to charge for the Medfield load, that could be calculated there. But to just deny it is
Well,
making the facility not usable or economic.
what's the problem?
That's, I think you need to know what the problem is. I don't know.
Well, we can
Does
get-
Bay
we can-
State- I assume that if they're having difficulty, they currently don't deal with the MWA communities, I'm guessing. Otherwise, they'd already have a permit. I don't think there's a MWA permit is specific to Walpole, but Pat, maybe you know, being on our representatives.
Yeah, it's specific to Walpole. I think we should look into it. Let them tell us the problem. Let's not make it up.
I'll report back to you. I'll send you at the next meeting.
Okay, thank you.
Again, the same question, what is happening to the meter upgrades? How many meters are being upgraded so far? We need that report from the
two items.
superintendent.
The impact of this and the meter accounts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we need that from the superintendent in every meeting.
Okay, you want that at every meeting?
Yes, please. Because I think most of the agenda after this are related to water billing issues, so we should make sure that we get that.
Okay, so moving right along, we have an appointment, 6:45, right about now, for 7 Cherokee Lane. Are you here? Hi.
Point of order. I have to leave the room.
Okay. Mr. Hamilton is recusing himself. All right, so you're Mr. and Mrs.?
Yes.
Okay. Would you want to tell us what the request is?
I guess if we could just try to figure out what the sewer part of it is. We put sod in this summer. We got 2 phone calls from Walpole just saying, hey, your water has increased dramatically, which we appreciated. And then when we explained that we used sod this summer, we put in sod, that we ended up with a large consumption of water. When we got the bill, it said the consumption of water, but then there was only equally a large amount for sewer. So that was what our question was. Why? We understand the water consumption, and I think, Billy, didn't you come down and pay?
No, I didn't. I
Oh.
actually came down, but I was told I could wait until
Okay,
we talked. But, yeah, we understand, we had no idea that the water consumption was that expensive, but, you know, clearly we were at fault. There's no doubt about that. We just wonder with these, we were charged, I think, approximately $1,700 for sewer, when it was clearly a large majority of that was, you know, was for the lawn. I can show you our lawn, if you want to see it. I have the bill for the sod, et cetera, but, so that was just our question, that the $1,700 we paid for sewer was really not reflective of, you know, I mean, the $2,000, we understand that was the that was the water that was that we used for the sprinklers. I apologize, my blood sugar's a little low, so. But the $1,700 for the sewer didn't seem proportional. I mean, I know there's a part that's sewer, but a large majority of that was not for the sewer. It was on the
just for
sprinkler.
the water consumption.
So that was just our, you know,
Mr.
But-
Chairman, when you get a chance, I can explain that.
Sure.
The sewer in that fiscal year was a flat rate, roughly around $100 per cubic foot.
Okay,
That's a little bit more, and you only get 90% of the amount. So that would put you at about $1,700 for the sewer. On the water, it's a tiered rate, that the first tier is probably somewhere in the $50 to $60 range, then it goes up a little bit more, then it goes up. And you had the bulk of your water at the highest rate, which that rate for that tier is higher than the sewer. And that's why, using the same gallons or cubic feet, your water was so much higher.
yeah, I mean,
So, I mean, I can explain the arithmetic. That's the reason why, it looks like, wait a minute, same number of cubic feet showing on your bill, and why is the water so much more expensive? It's because one is tiered, and the other, in this past fiscal year, was a flat rate.
yeah, I understand that, you know, the $2,000 tiered, we had to pay higher for
Right.
that. I'm just saying the $1,700 that was attributed to sewer, I mean,
We rate,
we only use the sewer, you know what I mean? We, clearly, our water, our lawn usage was
Yeah.
way up. That was the 2,000, but it seems to me that the sewer usage was only up
we don't,
marginally.
we don't meter sewer, so we use the water meter as the basis. And we would charge you based on 90% of the water rate is what we typically estimate for sewer. For folks who have irrigation and are on sewer, there is the opportunity to have a second meter just for the irrigation, so that your primary meter would calculate the amount of water used in the house,
Okay.
and the sewer would be based on that. The second meter, which would be for irrigation, only is covering for water. And so that's what you want to do
No,
going
understood,
forward.
going forward, but
Right.
what I'm just saying is, you know, it's, you know, obviously, we didn't have $1,700 in sewer, and that's the way it's labeled. It just seems to me that that's
Well,
extreme. You
And-
know,
and-
that the $2,000 we understand, but then
Yeah.
it's, the $1,700, I just don't understand why it's labeled as sewer. It's just, because it isn't. So it should be, you know what I mean, it's just not clear to me, that's why.
right, well,
to
that's
us.
the explanation as to how it's done. And if you're planning on irrigating your lawn,
Yeah.
and you don't have an irrigation meter, second meter, you want to go to the office and have that taken care of. The other thing that I noted on this was that you said you watered frequently, like, that would seem to, we're violating the water management of.
No, we were
No,
told.
we were told if we had sod
Yes.
installed, that it was
For
exempt.
May and September, did you do it through June, July, and August?
We were never told there was
We never-
any.
Yeah, we called about it, and
clearly.
we said the
Yeah.
reason our water is so high is because we just installed
Right.
sod.
No, I understand,
We were
but
never told that
that's the
there
other
was-
item that concerned me
Yeah.
on this, so.
Mr. Chairman, move the question for rebate, $1,700.
You move the question?
Yes, I do.
There's no second. So, I guess, I don't know how you estimate how much of the water didn't go through the sewer. I mean, that's the problem, that's
No,
why.
no, yeah, understood. No, I mean, like, I'm at your mercy, because clearly we're ignorant to the facts. I mean, just saying that common sense dictates that was not all sewer, and I'm with you. How do we determine that? There's probably no way. We're just hoping for some relief, because it's clearly not all sewer. But I'm with you. There's no way for you to say, okay, well, 80% of this is this and that. We clearly understand that. We just, you know, we're, I guess, throwing ourselves at the mercy of the court, in the sense that we just, I'm sorry? Well, the committee, I apologize. But we realize that, you know, we're at fault. And we're clearly not gonna do that again. I mean, towards the end of the summer, I just went out and hand watered, and if you see my lawn, it looks like I didn't even water ever.
Well, it
was
was
so
a hot
bad.
summer.
Yeah, but like, we know we're wrong, clearly. We just was hoping that we could get relief, but we understand that we're at fault.
Do you have a big yard
Not really,
Uh,
it's not even a half acre.
or a pool?
No, we
We don't
don't.
have a
We
pool.
just have a front lawn.
I
and
don't think it's worth it having a second meter.
No, well, we didn't know, and it may be, but we're probably, you know, we had put the sod in, we spent, you know, about $4,000 on the sod, and we were just, you know, so we wanted to, but next year, no, we're not gonna do that. Clearly, knowing on this, we're just gonna let it, what happens, happens, because we can't
Or
afford to
put
do
in
this.
another meter.
Yeah, or put in another meter, but how much would that change? Would that whole $1,700 be, would it be only like $200 or $300 based on the fact it would all,
Well, based on prior usage, it looks like that you were in the 1,600 to 1,800 cubic feet. I'm just looking at your bill where you can see,
what a sewer, I guess that would be.
so which, if going forward, if you stayed at that amount, it looks like maybe 1,600 is sort of the average of prior bills. Out of the, let's see what the cubic feet of 17,690, this is, somewhere around 17,
Does it
say
work?
400 would have been used for irrigation purposes.
Mr. Chairman, I have a observation here. The bill is for the period 7th April to 7th July, but it was sent very late. The billing date is 8/15, and the town has sent this bill very late to the customer. 7 July to 8/15 is almost 1 month and extra 10 days. And that's very delayed billing. If this same bill was generated on time, they would have more time, more alerts to basically stop the
To stop the excess.
excess, yeah. And that's the reason we keep on asking the town to implement monthly billing, because this situation can happen to anyone. We asked the town so many times that people may not realize
Yeah,
that
we'll-
it's so costly, and even if you say that you can afford this 3,765, I don't think it fits any family budget to pay at once. And we have asked the town so many times to have a monthly billing, so that you know that you are spending, even if you're spending $3,700, it's $1,200 per month.
Yes, to your point, when we got called, we never asked, and that's our fault. Like, when they called us, we didn't ask what our rate was, but clearly, if we had found out after a month, we would have changed. But, you know,
Yeah,
once
you're-
again, ignorance is
yeah.
bliss. I mean, that's our fault.
That's correct, yeah, so
We never asked, so.
you got a call on May 12th, okay, but you are getting a bill on August 15th. So you don't have any control of knowing that you're going to get a bill of $3,765, because town never sent you bill until that point. And that is a problem. That's the problem we are raising here to the town, that it should not happen. And I'm on your side on the issue. The thing is whether we have power to give you rebate or not, that's debatable. But I'm on the side that this should not happen from the both town side, yes.
Bill, did you have, were you doing a calculation, an estimate of?
Well, what also is that the reading brought you into July. I assume you were still watering in July and August?
Yeah, whenever we got the bill, I stopped watering.
Yeah, but that was in August.
Yes, and that is,
So I'm just saying, if we're continuing to water the lawn, and a lot of people do, and it's tough when it gets hot, northern turf grasses go dormant, and you can pour water on it, and you're only delaying the issue. I didn't have time to come up with an estimate of what it would be, but I guess,
can I ask a question? Would it be basically what our normal 3-month usage is of sewer?
well, that's what I was talking about, looking at your prior consumption, for quarterly would be 1,632, 1,802, 1,400, so I'm guessing that your probably consumption somewhere around 1,600 is your normal in-the-house usage. Anything else is probably,
What's that cost, though, I guess is my question.
that puts, the lowest tier goes from, to 1,500. So you'd have $100, well, a very small amount would have been in the second tier. So the bulk of it, like 95% of it would be at the lowest tier for water. And then the sewer would be figured on that. The roughly 16,000 cubic feet, which was used on the lawn, just estimating, would be at a higher rate. I mean, so if you want, I can attempt to figure that out, and we can get back to you on that.
We
And then, I
appreciate
guess
it.
the question is, does the board want to make that abatement, and the fact that we had a water management policy of, you're an odd number, so that's what, Mondays and Thursdays are your day. And if you were doing it every day,
once again, we were under the impression we
Yeah,
could
we were
because it
never
was
told.
sod, so
Yeah.
that
We were
was.
told it was an exemption because it was
Yeah, we were
sod.
very worried about that, that's why.
I'd have to look to see, because I think this is new this year, that we were allowing you to water a new lawn in May and September. This is not something that we had done in prior years. And I think I'd have to check to see, did we have something going out to the public?
Instead of voting on it, why don't we sit, maybe let Bill do a minor calculation, maybe we can get them some adjustment. I think
Yeah.
it'd be fair. A bigger point for you is that in America, do you think we should be allocating water to people? Some towns actually want to have number of flushes for your toilet.
Right.
They want to tell you whether you can take a shower. Do you think there's plenty of water available? We're trying to get water from the MWRA and find other sources, and our town administration is bucking us. Because we shouldn't have to be counting drops of water and billing you in this way. It's not, in my vision, it's not America. And we're the sewer and water board. They're trying to get rid of us because we raise questions like this. They just like to charge you. So you might, if you hear debates about this, the sewer and water commission is on the side of the consumer. And we're fighting City Hall, so to speak, on some of these things. So we're gonna try to, Mr. Abbott's very good at this, maybe coming up with some
Thank you.
adjustment. Yes, sir.
Lots of houses have septic, and a lot of people say, oh, little septic, that's good because it recharges the aquifer. But it's recharging with very, very poor quality water. In this case, he's recharging the aquifer with pure, clean water. And that should be funneled into the abatement. I mean, he's not paying for that, we're not paying for that. Right, it goes into the, no, here's what I'm trying to say, we pay MWRA. He never, his water never entered into the MWRA system. But
Sure.
it didn't, it went into the ground in Walpole. And it went into the rivers and streams.
I'm gonna give you his, because I'm a teacher, so
Bible, especially
he's able to
during the
take
summer.
notes during the day.
So I think that, you know, we should be considerate of giving him
Okay, we'll take that into
All right,
account.
thank you.
an abatement.
Yeah, so,
Mr. Chairman, for any abatement, I would like to see the daily report, users report, before making any final decision on the abatement.
all right. Stephen Nunnery, wherever you are, you want to get us that information?
For the 7 Cherokee Lane, for this billing period, 4/7 to 7/7, the daily users report, because there'll be some peak and off-peak time when we are not watering, so.
I'm
that
going to
will give
get
good numbers.
information, if not only for this bill, but what they can sort of be expecting.
That's correct, yeah, yeah.
I get the phone number to contact them and get
Okay,
some more
thank you.
information.
Thank you,
Hoping
Bill.
for rain.
Coming on Wednesday.
You deserve water, no worries.
Well, if you saw
long
my
as you can
lawn,
pay
you'd
for it all.
really- You would really wonder what I actually did, because it looks so bad. So, but I appreciate your,
Well, you're protecting your investment, your home and your home value and your new lawn. I get it. I think it's not, we're forced into these situations by bad policy from big politicians,
Understood.
unfortunately. So,
I appreciate it.
thank you for coming in.
All right,
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you all.
We will be back in touch.
All right,
Okay,
thank you
thank you.
so much. Sorry to take up all your time. But as far as you guys let me know, because I haven't paid the bill yet, I don't mind.
Next is 1531 Washington Street.
Right, 1531 Washington Street, sewer abatement. They're not here?
It's an interesting situation here.
Yeah.
Once,
So this is, 1531 Washington Street, and the bill came of $5,300. And the issue is, the old meter was replaced, and the actual bill was sent all at once for $5,300. This is meter replacement issue.
when the property changed hands, wouldn't we have gone out and read the meter, actually read it? In which case, wouldn't they, as far as settling with the prior owner, wouldn't they have taken care? Because it looks like we've got some estimates and, one of those catch-up situations. I'm just curious as to,
Well, I think what happens, Bill, is in normal transactions, if there's realtors involved who are licensed, they're required to do that. That's the whole process. If there's a bank involved, they're required to do it. If there's a mortgage company involved, they're required to. But in certain circumstances, there's no bank, there's no mortgage company, there's no broker, so then it doesn't get done.
And there's, I think this is coming second time because there was a rebate given to this person for 1,516 credited off the bill. And so this issue looks something different. I think we need a town to explain this to us. We cannot talk in, empty room and then make a decision.
Yeah, now,
well,
if you read what Derek said, he's
this...
pretty
this-
much didn't disagree with the abatement.
You want more information?
I don't know, what do you think?
information, yeah.
So let's put it on for the next meeting. Tell them we're looking for additional information.
From the town regarding the situation and whether they have already given $1,516 as a credit.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
yeah, all right.
You can track that one down, Pradeep. I'll track down the first one.
All right. This is a familiar one.
Yes.
One of our favorite addresses in town, 22 Cedar Street, if anyone's ever heard of that.
Thank you so much for that. I apologize for not being here last time. I was actually really ill, so I didn't want to be sneezing all over and getting.
Town hall is running out of paper. Every meeting, we produce
I'm
these for
sorry.
everybody.
Thank you for listening to me, I guess. Thank you. I do appreciate it very, very much.
So, what do you have to say?
So, should I just summarize from the beginning?
Well, where do you
or-
think you are? We thought,
I think
There's
we
some remedy-
understand what has happened. I guess the
remedies
question is,
have
what are you
happened.
asking for?
So, from 9/12/2022 to May 9th, I was being charged approximately like $700 pay period for something like 600 gallons of water usage a day. So as soon as I got a call and I didn't receive a bill for the quarter of September, she called and just said, Erin, you have some problems in your house. It's in your house definitely, and you're having really high usage. So I brought in a plumber, I replaced 2 toilets, I replaced shower heads to reduce water, I did rain barrels. I don't water my lawn, I'm 3 houses back. I don't do that anyways. I yelled at my kids, they weren't allowed to take anything more than a 4-minute shower. I have boys, they don't take long showers anyways. I did all of this and had to call and say I didn't receive a bill, and she sent me the bill, and it was, for $700. So I paid it, and then the next quarter came in higher, 700, and I was just water saving things. is there any chance that there's a leak anywhere at the meter, whatever? And she said, absolutely not, it's in your house. So, I paid it. I had to track down the bill because they didn't send me a bill at all for that quarter. And then I'm a single mom. I did everything I could to reduce water usage, and it really didn't reduce. So I called a number of times, and they kept telling me unequivocally it's in my home. So I just paid because I didn't know what else to do.
Could I just, we've heard
Yes.
this, but what I'm asking is, what are you asking for? You want an abatement for $100, $500?
So, I mean,
so
I'm
we
even
can then-
willing to split it. You know, the difference, it's like $5,300. And, that's the total difference. And I even averaged up. I averaged up to 300 gallons a day because to me, I would be happy with that. But I got the pit redone. I had the plumber come in and redo everything. Walpole had to replace the meter because the meter was not working. I don't think it was ever really working correctly. They replaced it back in 2022, and that's when the problem started. I think it was pretty much leaking. Stephen
Can I
Nunnery.
I could just,
Sure.
You've said you've paid $5,300, you're willing to go for half, pay for half.
No. I paid like $5,300
Already?
above and beyond, yeah, over the
Okay,
past, yeah.
and you're saying you'd like half
I'd
of
even be
that?
willing to split the difference and go
All right.
halves to
So
get,
that would be $2,750.
sure.
All right, and we put in a meter at no cost to you for $1,500, that would be
Well, I think.
$1,250.
And I do appreciate that, but I think that's, the meter head is not something I usually would pay for as a consumer. I might be wrong, but,
On a pit meter and a meter of that size, yes, you would.
okay.
Normally for a three-quarter inch meter, there,
Okay. So it says in your Walpole regulations, I might be wrong.
Yeah.
It says in the Walpole regulations that I'm required to handle the
Yeah.
1.5 inch line, the plumbing. It doesn't, it says that the
Yeah.
meter head is Walpole's responsibility. The confusion is
Yeah.
that there's a $2,000 fine for me even messing with that.
I'm just trying to to get a number that you're saying, I want an abatement for X, and then we can decide, and I'm just using some of your numbers, I
Sure.
came up with
So, I mean, the
a
total
number.
that I've paid over is $5,300.
Yeah.
In the past 3 years. The concern that I have is that there's a fine, I was told numerous times that it was in my home for 3
Yeah.
years. I just wish that, Stephen Nunnery sent me an email, because when this, when it was leaking on the 9th, it was leaking out both sides, which was confirmed by 3 people. There was broken bolts
Yeah.
in the water pit, which means that somebody was replacing the bolts, so they knew it was leaking. Stephen Nunnery on May 16th in an email confirmed that they adjusted, the bolts a total of 3 times in the past 3 years. So the only reason they would tighten those bolts is if they knew it was leaking. So if someone had notified me within, that it wasn't, this, because even if you go by their notes, there's like, need to investigate, this is 9/23, need to investigate further, and these are all the Walpole notes. So they knew that there was a problem from the time that 9/12, when they installed the meter head, until recently. So if they had notified me that it was leaking, I would have fixed it immediately. But I had no knowledge, can't lift the sewer cover, and there's, Walpole regulation says that there's a $2,000 fine if I mess with it. So I had to get permission to fix that anyways. So I've paid now $8,400 to fix the plumbing. I have, the water runoff from the highway is fixed now because they were running it right into my water pit, which caused sediment damage, which I have 2 plumbers to confirm that that's been fixed. I do have Ion Water now, which I totally appreciate. but I'm averaging 200 or less gallons a day. So I'm asking for some relief for, and I truly had wished that if the line was my issue, it was leaking out both sides of the meter head. Once they, replaced it, there's been a problem immediately. If they had notified me, I would have paid for it. I wouldn't, and I would have saved myself $300. So I'm not blaming anybody, but I'm truly wishing that, there was some honest communication. Because there's just, on 12/19/22, Erin called looking for her bill amount. On 12/21, spoke to Erin again. She's really stressed out. The higher than normal usage doesn't make sense because of with all my water saving techniques, my bills were still extremely high. And it's just water, no sewer. I don't, I live on a driveway that's shared, so I have 2 houses in front of me and I'm back there in the woods. So if my grass is brown for 2 months out of the summer, I don't worry about it. And I use rain barrels to water my potted plants. But it's been a stress on my family. I've been yelling at my boys, to get out of the shower, So it's been a strain.
Do you think
And
it's all fixed now? Do you think everything's,
so I know that the highway department is still working on, they just came and painted new things. They paved 2 portions, one side of the driveway and the other side, which just created a funnel, and it was just going right into my water pit, which caused damage. And they've been really helpful. They've come, they put in a stone drain, but I still don't think it's draining well. So it's causing, in the wintertime, it will be like an ice skating rink, and then people could get into accidents. So I know that they're working on that portion of it. I'm just hoping, to get a little bit of relief.
right? I could see a couple grand, Bill.
Well, I mean, I'm just,
2,000?
the first thing is, what are you asking for? And
Yeah.
you
she
mentioned
says 20
5,300, and you mentioned splitting it. I just did the arithmetic. I know we gave a meter that normally we wouldn't, and that came up to an abatement of $1,250.
Well, that-
Somebody wants,
The meter was
I'm just
because
sort
of
of
her line,
asking-
the line size, right? I mean, ordinarily, they wouldn't pay for the meter.
Ordinarily wouldn't, but on a larger one, they would pay. So I'm just saying, you've had to come, what is this, 3rd, 4th time or whatever?
Yes, sir.
And the story, I think we all understand. So now I'm just saying, all right, let's see if we can just settle this thing. And that's why I was saying, what are you asking for? Give me a number. And then, once you start giving, I can start to do something. John, you want to say
Well, I do
how
wanna say
you get
something.
there? Patrick, if you've got an idea, but let's see if we can try and settle it, so she doesn't have to keep coming back and,
Not that I don't love seeing you guys, but yeah, I just,
yeah. I mean, I'd like to see if we could just settle this.
Well, the problem I have is that she has a flange leak that's still there. Now, we don't know that she's in a pit. Pits have waste material on the bottom. She could be, water's running through her meter, depending on what size this is on, and constantly running. So, and nobody's paying for that.
Well, wait a minute.
that was old
That's the
situation.
worst. She's not a plumber. She pays probably $10,000 of real estate tax at town of Walpole. She's a customer of the water department. She's paying $700 of whatever. She's not expected to go out and check the
No.
pipes and the pits and the meters.
You're not
The
listening
meters
to
were
me.
screwed up. Well, no, I don't
You
care
just
about, I
missed
don't
my
care about
point.
the environment.
No, it's not about the environment. My point is that there's a leak that the town should have fixed, okay? They failed to fix the leak. The leak is dripping into the ground. She's paying for the leak, most likely, if it's
Well,
on
it
the
depends.
right
Is it
side.
leaking before the meter or after the meter?
We
I
don't
can
know.
answer that. So the bolts on both sides were broken off and the pipes were pulled away. And so I had Kenny Jones, Stefano Negro Plumbing, and then 2 other excavators came out, and I supplied those to Stephen Nunnery. All said it was leaking on both sides, both bolts were broken, and there was visible damage to, like, both sides. So Walpole was losing water, and I was losing water on both sides of the meter.
You know, when I worked for the water department, we never, ever left a property with water leaking. If we had to bring in, heavy equipment, we never did that. And I can't believe that they did this, but they're saying they did. So
Yeah,
this presents a problem to us.
Well, we're trying to get to a number.
We're trying to get to a
What's a fair
number.
thing
So
here?
do-
How about 2,500? Is that
I-
enough?
I have a question, Chairman, I have a question. Did you get a regular bill now after the new meter?
did I get readings?
The new bill, with the new meter, did you get a bill, a water bill?
So, no, I haven't gotten a water bill just yet.
Okay,
I have not.
so.
But I do have Ion Water, which I can see the daily usage.
That's what I'm
and-
coming to, yeah. So what I'm suggesting that after your meter is fixed and, because
It's all
last time.
fixed.
Yeah, last time when you came, it was still leaking, it was not fixed.
Correct.
Okay, so now it's fixed and we need to see that uses, like what is the daily uses, and use that as a criteria to give any abatement.
Is it fixed?
Yeah, that's
It's, yes, sir. So,
There no more leaks now?
so I replaced the water pit, replaced the plumbing, and when the excavating team was there, I coordinated with the water department to make sure the meter was, hooked up properly and everything was set before they closed it up. And so Phil and Stephen Nunnery were both on site, and the meter was found to be broken.
Okay,
So
'cause-
it was broken so they haven't really gotten any valid readings since 2016.
Which date
It
this
says here,
meter was fixed?
we're on the
Everything is
successful.
fixed.
Which date was fixed, like,
It was fixed,
because we don't have that detail here.
But we also, you were getting water from a neighbor, and they put a meter in there, so, and
Yes,
that
sir.
was one of the things I said, okay, those are the only usage numbers that, personally, that I can believe, and they're, would reflect what you're saying, that you're using not any near the amount of this water. So we do have some accurate numbers
So from
that we can
May-
go with.
yes, sir. So
Yeah.
from May 9th, the date that the flooding and the broken boats were found, they hooked me up, which was awesome, to temporary water with a line, and they stated that I was using approximately 200 to 300 gallons a day. I did find a leak in the line, so, but I said, I'll take the 300 because it's way better than 600 gallons a
Right.
day. So I plugged the leak just to save water because I care, and, but, so since then, I believe we had it completed, I can look up the date because I coordinated it with the water department to be there. But it's been a while. So, and the water usage has been around 200 and sometimes less.
All right, so do we know as far as we know, everything is working the way it's supposed to at this point?
Yes, sir.
And I would think that we should be able to come up with a number so that we can save from you having to come back and
I greatly
us printing
appreciate
a
that.
quarter inch of paper.
Yeah,
It gets
I mean-
bigger every time here.
You did replace the water meter probably with a more expensive one to give me Ion Water. So I appreciate that because that's gonna tell me if there's any leaks. Because my home, the meter pit at my home is probably a good 150 feet. So it's a benefit to me. So if you wanna take that off, that's why I said I'd split
Yeah.
the difference. So
be
2,500 is totally reasonable.
Yeah.
Um,
I see that's, I'd be willing to settle that just to give her peace of mind.
Making a motion then.
Okay. I'll move that we settle this abatement with a $2,500
An abatement of
abatement
$2,500.
to the customer, 22-seater,
From which date are we calculating?
which we're not going from a day, we're going from today. We're gonna,
That everything's working, that's why I'm asking, is it working the way it's supposed to from here on in?
Yeah.
Then what you get for bills is what you
Give 'em
get for bills.
2,500.
We're just looking, trying to address
The
all the problems that have been in the past, and
Absolutely.
so,
I
and I
agree.
think that's what you're trying to adjust, John, right?
right.
Okay.
Is there a second?
Yeah, I'll second it.
Okay, move in second. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. 400.
Thank you.
Okay,
Thank you
you're
very
welcome.
much.
We love having you, but I hope you don't come back.
Come back next time.
If
We'll
I
have
come back,
popcorn.
it's to basically thank you gentlemen for all your hard work, and I'm sure it's not an easy job, so I appreciate it.
Okay.
Terry, thank you for all your hard work. I thank you, truly. Have a good night. Thank you.
Night.
Okay.
What happened to Mr. Hamilton?
I think it was for one of the first,
7 Cherokee I left for. We,
is Bill still out there? Can you find if he's, I mean, he stopped, we were talking
Are you
7 Cherokee,
175?
we've done,
Oh, I'm sorry you had to go through all this. Come on up.
yeah. I don't know if he didn't want to be on, had a conflict on all the abatements, or just the first one, or what, so.
this is 175 West.
Yep, I'm just looking for a little relief on my water bill and stuff. I put a new lawn in my backyard, and most of my water usage was for the lawn and stuff, like, my quarterly bill is pretty small and stuff, so I was just looking for some relief on this bill, yeah.
Again, it says that you used it daily, which would be violating the water management thing, and,
I was unaware of that.
yeah,
Did you receive any call when the water usage was high from the town?
usually if the usage is over during the summer 250 cubic feet, which is a lot of water, you'd get notified that a lot of water's being used, but I don't see, and they would know that.
I mean, I have an irrigation system, I just put this thing on for an hour every morning and stuff like, you
Yeah.
know. But, and my monthly bill's like usually around $200, I think, it's small. So, and most of that water was going into the lawn. not in-
Yeah, I take it you don't have a irrigation meter, you
I
set?
don't,
Yeah,
I don't. I mean, I had asked about it. I think you had said they're hard to get or something.
well, not hard to get, but, you know, it's
I mean,
something.
I will get one on there
Yeah.
and stuff.
So, yeah,
Yeah, I'll get it, yeah.
and this is just one bill. I think the summary what we got is that your next bill will be much more higher. So, again, I say this is the problem with the quarterly billing. I don't know when this was sent, or how much late this bill was sent, and if the customer get a high bill like you of 1,184, and still haven't gotten any bill for July, August, and September, it will be another $1,000. So I'm not sure what are you asking today, because you may have to come again if you think that your water usage was high.
Yeah, I mean, I had no idea, like, it cost that much to water the lawn, and I try to use it sparingly, too.
I can see you're in cycle 9, which is what I'm in. Why don't you give me your phone number? I'll try and figure out what your bill's gonna be, and then we can get back, so.
Sure. 781 603
603,
5,
okay,
right?
yeah,
Okay, then I'll wait to hear from you.
yes.
Okay.
Okay, Peter, thank you.
for your time. Thank
Thanks
you.
for coming in. Okay,
There's one more item if we can discuss before jumping on to other one, is this one, 276 Winter Street water meter rental fee.
Where?
Want to discuss later. It's in discussion item.
Winter Street.
Yeah.
276.
Oh, way down, number 5.
It's down, it's in
Oh.
discussion. Go ahead, as long as we're talking about. Okay. So why does she have a rental?
It's not, it's the ready-to-serve, which is based on the size of your meter. So she's either, well, if it's a 5/8 inch meter, there was a $8.12 charge, or if it's a 3/4, it's $8.85. That she, I believe that's what she's referring to, the water meter rental fee, because on your bill now, it says,
Ready to serve? What
it
does
doesn't say ready to serve. Do we have one here? It says meter, and then it'll either be 5/8 or 3/4 or whatever your size of your meter is. We probably would be better if we had called it ready to serve, and then put the size of the meter,
Yeah.
which would indicate what the, because I could see why someone would think that we're
It's a rental, yeah.
renting, but in fact, it's a ready-to-serve.
Yeah, but you know, she's right about the water meter rental fee. I really didn't like that charge we put on with the water meter. And it's my idea that when we're finished with our meter installation with the new system, this goes away. Because I don't think we should be doing that, because it is another way to get some extra money out of our customers. Right now, I understand it because we're giving them a whole incredibly good system if you used it.
Yeah, and we did also
And we did-
reduce the increase of the water rate. The water rate went up, but it did not go up as much as it would have had we not had the
That's correct,
ready to
because
serve.
we're spending- But
Yeah.
eventually, we'll have everybody on the system, we'll have paid for it, and then I think it needs to go away.
No, but there is, on the rate hearing, we did pass a motion that roughly 400 accounts, which are low-income account, will be exempt from the quarterly meter charge.
Exactly.
Yeah, so there is an option. So if this person qualify for that exemption, then she should be getting that exemption.
Terry, could you investigate that, just to see if she's on this? And Pradeep's right, there's like about a
It's-
list of
it's there.
about 400 people.
Motion made by this and second of that take as a
Yeah.
priority option, yeah. The 400 accounts,
And that may take care of the issue.
yeah. So if she, in that 400 accounts from exemptions, she should be getting it. It's already in the meeting notes, which was included here. Okay.
Yeah, we need from Steve Nunnery also, what percentage of homes have the new meters? Usually he writes that down. I don't see it this month. And where is Steve Nunnery? Why aren't they coming to our meetings? We need to write a letter to the town administrator, or to
We
the
did-
selectmen, or somebody, saying, why aren't our staff coming to the meetings?
We did ask last time, multiple times. In last 3 meetings, we had asked this, raised this concern. And I think in the meeting notes which we passed today, the same thing was said in our September 22nd meeting also.
Yeah, because
Oh,
it's unsafe. We pay these people salary, and they're not showing up. And we need sometimes some professional help from our employees. That's what they're paid to do, right? Especially figuring out some of these complicated systems.
Okay. So discussion, we have open meeting violation complaint. Someone put that on the agenda.
Okay.
We did had that discussed last meeting, and we did pass that, isn't it? Is there anything new you want to?
No, I think we're just gonna respond in the regular way to that.
I did
If
sign
somebody
it.
wants to say what was wrong with it, they can, I don't care.
Well, there's what, like 14 days, so have you responded, John, within the
The
14
commission
days?
has an extension,
Pardon me?
an extension.
You got an extension?
And it's, I signed it tonight. And did you sign it, Mike?
No, I think I sent that note saying that all those laws should mention.
Yeah, we detached
did-
them.
Yeah,
I did sign it
yeah.
at
So-
this meeting.
If you've responded, then whatever
Well-
happens, happens. Either it's
We're
accepted
gonna
or
respond
they
at a time when
disagree.
we
and-
talk to the Attorney General's office, they're the ones that are in charge of it, so. They're,
Are we on
Okay.
the open session now? You
one
on,
discussion,
we on
Number
discussion,
two.
open session,
number 2,
Article 7?
yeah.
All right, let me just say right in the beginning, because it's been bothering me. You know, we got our report of the Finance Committee in the mail. And included in the mail was, enclosed you will find materials to help you prepare for the town meeting. Well, I see this thing on Article 7, and it's full of disinformation. So how is that helping people prepare for town meeting when they're being given, delivered to their home, a document saying that the elected sewer and water commission is not in their best interest, and they need an advisory commission run by the Board of Selectmen, and that's gonna be so much better. And they have a bunch of things on here which we don't, they never included it in the, well, they did include theirs, but they never asked us for the other side of the story. And we need to go through some of these things and straighten it out. You know, they're accusing us of all kinds of things, and it's a bunch of rubbish. I can't believe it. And they're doing it with town money to get their side of the story out to the RTMs, and we don't have that kind of power in the town. You know, this is, they printed these things up and sent them out. They mailed them out to everybody. We can't mail these out to 150 people our side. You know, you have to go on the internet, Facebook to see anything. Anyway, that's my big beef tonight.
No, so my beef was that they never gave this August 22nd memo to the select board, which was drafted by town administrator. And this particular packet, which was sent to the RTM, is a copy paste of the same memo, August 22nd memo. And I never saw, select board authorizing this memo to go in a RTM packet. So where is this coming from? Is somebody doing some magic? Like, are they copying, pasting from a paper printout to another paper printout? And the words are changing, because I never saw any, in meeting, they authorizing the town administrator to send this to RTM. And this is just a town administrator working on his own and trying to be using water payers and taxpayers' fund to put his agenda on the RTM packets. This is just not good for all the ratepayers. Their money is being spent on writing a petition, writing a letters by the town administrator. The RTM should have both sides of the story. If the real intent was them to make a decision, then RTM should have the both boards' input in their decision.
Well, do you think we could do a rebuttal of this and have them print it up and give it to the RTM members when they show up?
Even if you write a rebuttal and print it, the town administration is not going to help you. The way they are acting, very authoritarian, and it's not going to help anything.
So if they won't help us, that means that they're really anxious to get a hold of the sewer and water money, and that they want the authority to raise rates. And if they're left alone without any checks and balances, how do we know they're not gonna commingle funds? I mean, that's, what you say is really worrying, Pradeep.
And the commingling is happening. We already seen that in this year, Article 2 is spending. They are taking the water retain earning and sewer retain earning for stormwater, which is not funded by town funds, it's funded by water and sewer funds, retain earning. And which is not correct, because not everyone in the town have the water meter. There are many people have private wells, many people have private septics. Not everyone pay water and sewer. We just represent, let's say, 70% of household, or 60%, I think Bill will have correct number.
Well, as far as those that are on wells, it's very few. I mean, we're in the high 90s of who are on the water system, and about 60% of those who are taking town water are on sewer.
Sewer.
Yeah.
And we have seen it, like, for the North Street or some other street, when we sent the survey, the people came to the board meeting saying that they don't want sewer line because they have to pay the
The betterment fee
Betterment
is
fees.
just,
So
as
we-
well as having to pay.
Yes, we don't represent them. We
Yeah.
don't, this board does not represent people who doesn't have septic lines or water lines. And just by claiming that the fund can be utilized for any of the other general tax funded department, that's not correct. You know, this require independent board, which basically can do checks and balance.
You know, Pradeep, you're right. And why does the select board want to take the people's right to vote away? Don't they trust them? They want to have this advisory board, which is only advisory. Select board makes all the decisions. And they're looking to say, oh, gee, let's take your vote away. You know, back in 1895, you know, women couldn't vote for the Sewer and Water Commission. They couldn't vote for it until 1920. And now, they want to disenfranchise them again in 2025. Of course, not only would they disenfranchise women, it'd be men too this time. No, it's really ridiculous that they get rid of an elected body and take away the people's rights.
And there are this FAQs which sent, so we can go through and each of them and respond to it. The first was that if town meeting act favorably to this article, what happened to the current sewer and water commissioner? And that one is kind of not correct, because it's in the Walpole Charter, and the charter changes should go through a proper term, not through a majority vote, and it should be a charter change request, and there's a state laws which needs to be followed to make a charter change, and I don't think the town is following those laws properly here. That's the first one.
So this thing you wrote,
Yeah.
that I signed, I agree 100%. Have we asked our agent, town administrator, whom we pay a goodly amount of his salary, to reproduce this and have it available for the RTMs when they come to town meeting? Have we done that?
So, no, first let's see that everyone, if I agree, like, we need kind of,
Nobody?
Yeah.
Do you have two
not
copies there or
everybody's seen
just
this?
one?
Well, why don't we spread
I
it
don't want
around?
to take your only copy.
It certainly seems reasonable that the board puts their position and have it available when the town meeting members sign in. They always get the information as opposed to what.
Why wasn't it sent in the package, though?
I
Here's the thing.
I don't know.
We delivered these packages to the people's houses.
understand, Pat, I'm just saying it seems
One-sided
reasonable.
idea. Basically, it's a power grab, and it's a way to get hold of all the revenue that's generated in the towns without any checks and balances. And
So
it's disgraceful.
prepare a document that would be handed to the town meeting members as they arrive.
I suggest we do two things. One is the rebuttal of this particular document, which was sent by town administrator, going through all the thing, and we review it. And the second thing is, we put a regular statement, like, why do you think, the regular statement, why do you think the board should be there as independent board? So there's two separate issue. One is the rebuttal of the town administrator / select board memo to RTMs, and the second is just a general statement why the board should be independent. Yes, please.
Mr. Chairman, I believe that we should, as a 5-member board, have the right to be at the front of the town meeting, at that podium in the front, where people can ask questions and we can answer them, because the 5 of us have all the expertise we need to defend ourselves at town meeting. And I want to make a motion that we submit a substitute motion for no action, and then we go to the podium, all 5 of us, and we answer any questions that the RTMs have, because they're not aware of all this stuff. And the best way to make them aware of it is to answer their questions right at town meeting, because earlier today, I talked to a very intelligent guy who said there were 5 problems with Article 7, and I agree. So we should have that opportunity to be at the front of the meeting, at the podium, to answer questions.
We could do that now. This question is a very different article than what we usually see. It's binary, okay? You either voted yes, or you voted no. That's it. That's it.
Well,
Are we gonna have an elected sewer and water commission, or are we gonna get rid of it?
Okay, now, I agree, Pat, with what you're saying, as long as you agree that all 5 of us should be at the front of the town meeting to answer questions, because there are a lot of people going to be voting on this that don't know the answer to these questions.
That's why I disagree with you, because that's the exact, even coming to that town meeting, people will not understand any of the nuances of this.
I know.
And for you to just, you're being as bad as the other side, just my way or the highway, one or the other.
Explain
And-
that.
All right, when Bill and I were at a meeting, a sub-meeting with the two select people, I was told, if we want a meeting, which we're trying to schedule for many months, we had to go back and have you guys re-vote all your votes on the MWRA and on the Mylard site, which we did. And then he
I
also.
didn't ask you that. I asked you,
No,
what
I'm
do
telling
mean
you,
by
you have,
highway and the
you
highway?
have to listen to my answer, and I'll tell you.
Answer my question, please. Because I don't understand that.
Well, I'm giving you an example.
Well, we're talking about NWRA now?
So the, so the selectman said to me, you have to pledge, our committee has to pledge that we agree with Jim Johnson's memo and the figures in there to have the meeting. And I told them, we did all the votes, but we don't agree with everything in that memo. There are calculations about 66% increase in the water rate that are wrong. Because of that, we never had a meeting. And they just decided, well, you're not gonna go along with, in other words, there are people, again, I think it must be the selectmen, and the selectmen who think this is a financial decision exclusively. It's dollar and cents. Is it too expensive? The people, if anybody's watching this, Walpole, our water last year cost 7.0072, 7/10 of 1 penny per gallon to produce. The MWRA sells its water wholesale to Norwood for 0.0049 tenths a gallon, which is less than the town of Walpole. It's still fractions of a penny. When the public is being asked to get rid of a water commission, you would buy water at Stop and Shop for $2.49 a gallon, or discount water at the dollar store for $1.49 a gallon. We're talking here of tenths of a penny, not even a penny per gallon. And somebody's trying to tell you that's a financial argument not to get this water, even if somehow they configure it so it's, so that the MWRA water through Norwood will ultimately cost us 8/10 of a penny, that isn't worth it, which is an insane argument. It's not defendable anywhere, in any mathematics and any decision-making paradigm. This is what I don't understand. But people have their ways of thinking about things, and it's very backward. And I'm upset because they're taking credit for this. They're talking the town administration like they did this. We pursued this since 2017. No one else was interested. Dogmatically, we had to fight this year after year to try to get this under traction, to try to get I think we're the ones that convinced the MWRA that there are towns out there that would like to join who can't afford the entry fee and decided to waive it for us. But, this is a good economic argument because we figured out a way to almost not even impact the budget of Walpole to adopt MWRA, and we don't have to use, admittedly, you could come up with a case that if we needed the water and we got the water from Norwood, it would be at a cost or less than what we produce our own water at, full costed. You could compare that to our variable cost and say that water from Norwood is actually costing a little more. But we wouldn't use that water unless we had to use the water. We had a well down,
Answer
or
my
we had.
question now. What do you mean by my way or the highway?
What I was just told, if you don't agree with Mr. Johnson's memo, you're not gonna get a meeting. You're
What are you
saying,
talking about?
you're saying you wanna tell the people, either vote yes or no.
No, I did
There's
not
other
say that.
alternatives.
I said it's a binary question. The answers are gonna be yes or no. There's no in between there.
There
There's
is.
nothing
There's
on
a
there unless we
substitute
put
motion.
A substitute motion for some other thing. So that's what I said. And you can repeat it when you
Well,
want. So
it's
don't put
semantic.
words in my mouth, Joe.
That's
That's what I
semantic.
don't want.
Now, I will abandon my request for a substitute motion. However, in order to do that, I want this board to take the position that we should answer this question at the front of the town meeting at that podium in the front. because we deserve an opportunity to have the expertise of all 5 members present to answer the questions that the RTMs have. And now, having spent a long time on the select board, I know that when 2 people go to a meeting with 2 other people, even though it's below quorums for both boards, they are still acting as agents of this board and their board. Therefore, it's an illegal meeting if it's not published.
That's correct, if you read the state law. That is correct.
Yeah, so now I don't want to get in any violations. I just want to have the 5 members at the front of town meeting to answer the questions. Now, the way we do that, I don't care. If it's a substitute motion for refer it back to the select board, I'll make that motion if that will get what I would like to have happen.
Well, don't we have the right to have a presentation as Article 1 in any town warrant?
Well,
We apparently don't, because I've been asking for it. This is the 3rd town meeting. I've asked our staff and the administration to give us a time to present the MWRA project or application and what the status of that was. And I've been denied. It's been brought up in this forum. I asked, in fact, we voted to have Leah, who is the representative of, with Rick Mattson and Jim Johnson, asked Leah to prepare a PowerPoint presentation and a slide thing for us to present and to have her there to talk about what they've gone through. That was postponed, and if you remember, it was postponed twice. Our meeting, right after that or right about the time of that March memo, Leah he'd delayed her appointments to come back to talk to us about the presentation of the town meeting twice. The 3rd time she was coming in, I was promised she was coming in by our professional staff. She didn't come in. Another guy came in from her office, didn't know about much of anything. I don't know if you remember that or not.
I do.
But he just said, oh, well, we're told that we're not ready because we don't have all the finances on the pump station, so we're told you're not ready to
Can we do
have a report.
presentation on
So,
Article 7?
so we've tried to do this. No, I'm just saying, there's something wrong here, because in this letter here, in the packet you just called out, I noticed, I didn't see this before. On the last page, Mr. Johnson brings up the MWR connection. And he's talking to this like this has got nothing to do with the Sewer and Water Commission.
Well, it may not.
And he's going through this whole thing
Article 7 gets, not, if it gets
and giving them
passed,
status, but that is not what I've tried to do. So somebody doesn't want the MWRA thing to fly. They want to create a financial, I mean, we're not looking for credit. The selectmen can have all the credit they want. I don't care about it. I have no ego in this. I just want to make sure the town people know the value of this. It's an eternal, lifetime value of having high-quality water that we can't get anywhere else. And people don't understand that when you're talking 1/10 of a penny, you're talking nonsense if you're talking about the cost. It's
I
too
agree
much.
with you on that.
So, but they don't, we have to educate them. So I don't know how they're gonna get educated. The town, I'm very disappointed. I'm disappointed. I went to a finance committee meeting, they were voting to put this on the warrant, and they wouldn't let me talk. I'm not happy with committees that are advisory, because I think they're greatly influenced to keep their positions and to stay in line.
This advisory
And
commission,
this is an elected
the
position.
finance commission is going to have power to appoint the advisory commission for the sewer and water.
And that's done,
I
that's done as a
have-
buy-in.
Yes,
The selectmen are gonna run the show.
Chairman, I have one thing to say here. In this particular memo to the RTM on Article 7, the town administrator select board is comparing this to Burlington, Kenton, Dedham, Franklin, Mansfield, Medfield, Medway, Milton, Norwood, Norton, Randolph, Sharon, Wellesley, Weston, Westwood, Winchester, and Rentham. I have a question to them. Have any one of the finance committee member has seen the water and sewer budget of those towns? Because none of them are comparable to Walpole. That's the first thing.
It's not
The
one
second-
size fits all.
No, I can tell you the example. Okay, your Sharon does not have a sewer. It just have around $5 million of water budget. So where is it's not $15 million of budget to be maintained. The town resident are not paying $15 million in Sharon. Okay, which other town can pay $15 million? The nearest town which can pay is Norwood. Norwood has $9 million of sewer and $5 million of water, $5 to $6 million of water.
And they're
Okay.
a different town administration, they have a town manager.
That's correct. And there is an independent finance manager, finance commissioner. There is a finance commission, there is an independent financial elected financial body there, finance manager.
They
You
were
can-
cherry-picked.
You can pick the Sharon. Sharon has a town clerk and town people as elected. There are some town where town treasurer is elected. You cannot compare any town with Walpole. Walpole has 3 zip code. Walpole has Walmart, Siemens, which is getting a property tax rebate. Walpole has your Chick-fil-A. None of the town has all these 3 major corporate who are dumping into the sewer. And you can't just rely on this memo to compare with Burlington to Rentham. There's no comparison. There are different elected bodies there, and those elected bodies are taking care of the resident.
Pradeep, he put 4% of the towns in the Commonwealth on that list.
Yeah.
And what they are is cherry-picked to make his point.
Yeah, but still,
That has no value at all.
it doesn't match.
Right,
I can take any of the town, I can say that they have more elected officials than us.
so they're being deceptive to
Yeah.
town meeting members.
Yeah.
And when they vote the way they do, they don't know what they're voting.
Why does Sharon has a elected town clerk? Why doesn't we don't have it? Why does Norwood has a elected financial commission?
The different
Well,
towns,
I'll give you another example. I just picked 2 towns locally, Westwood, number 15. That's a lie. Westwood has 3 elected water commissioners, okay?
Yep.
And then Dedham, the same thing. Dedham has 3 elected water commissioners. Why he's putting on this, so they're not, these are towns that don't have a water commission.
And
That's
there
not
are
true.
other elected people there. There are more boards there than the
anyway.
Walpole.
it's a shame we have to keep rebutting these ridiculous things that they've sent to the town meeting members.
Well, it's a well-crafted argument.
It's really undemocratic.
Now, I still haven't got an answer. Are we going to defend this? Now, I'm hearing these great arguments.
I don't see why we can't get up and do that.
Well, we got to make sure that, I'll move that we, as a board, move to get up to the podium, because that's the best place to answer questions. And it's a motion I'm making. Is there a second?
Sure.
Okay. And the reason is, we have the ability to answer some of these questions that the RTMs are going to have, because they've been fed this, whatever they've been fed here, and we can respond to it in very intelligent ways. We can probably win over more town meeting votes if we go up to the podium. Going up to the microphone and getting 2 minutes isn't going to do it. We need to be at the podium, and we're defending the Sewer and Water Board. We should be allowed to be at that podium. And if necessary, we'll make that motion at the town meeting.
Yeah, the town thinks that this is all about the commissioners, but we don't get paid or anything, we're all volunteers. This is about the commission. Is the commission gonna be still part of this town and protect the people from what we just talked about? That's the whole point here, but they try to make it,
Exactly. They could change the commissioners in two election cycles. Bill and I are up in a few months, and then within 1 year, they could change the whole board,
that's correct, but
if they want to.
But they're not, if you look at their things they send to the town meeting reps, they don't mention that you're gonna lose your vote. They don't say, no, they put out questions that, it's like a straw man. They put up a straw man to knock it down.
Okay.
And so they ask these questions, They never ask the questions that are really helpful, though.
Okay, we just want to move on here.
Wait a minute, I got a motion on the floor.
On the table.
Okay.
I second it.
Yes. Now, if we don't get up to that podium at the front of town meeting, then the only people answering question will be the selectmen on the stage and town administrator on the stage. We need to be able to rebut them by being at that podium.
Yes.
And if we vote to do that by this motion, then we've got to notify the moderator that we intend to be at the podium, all 5 of us,
Yes.
to answer any question.
Are you gonna do that?
I get the motions on the floor.
Okay. If
All
we-
right.
I would just
Is there a
suggest,
second?
rather than having 5, that we have one spokesperson, having 5 people, I mean, the others can be available, but.
Well, that's
you-
it,
you-
that's,
Right.
that's right. The chairman will be the speaker,
Okay.
and like whatever happens at town meeting, the question is to the chairman of the Sewer and Water Board, and he can refer it to the one expertise of the 5 of us.
Okay.
Yeah.
But we should be on podium, that's, I agree with that point, that.
Yeah.
Because we are defending the water and
Commission,
sewer
yeah.
ratepayer.
Yeah,
Each person here was elected
Well, you know, here's the thing.
separately.
All the other boards, they would never be discussing this like we are right now. They'd be in some back room figuring this out. But here we are, yelling at each other, trying to
Right.
get the best for the town.
yes.
I think Commissioner Hamilton is right. We should present a united front. Because it's not
Now-
the commissioners, it's about the commission.
Let me remind this board, I attended, the commission, meetings of the Personnel Board. And back years ago, we had some very expertise people on that board. And I heard some great arguments from the Personnel Board. And now, we don't have a Personnel Board. Now, they weren't elected, so it was done.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
And I want to make sure that it doesn't happen to the Sewer and Water Commission, because we have an expertise through the 5 of us, because we all look at things a little differently, so that's great. Now, when the selectmen appoint people, they'll appoint people for their point of view only, and that's not good. And I understand that there's at least 5 problems with Article 7 that need to be addressed. It needs to be a vote of the,
But Bill, don't give all your ammunition away before the meeting, okay?
There's no ammunition, this is about a democracy, we have to have all these things
You
discussed
take over,
because,
you run the meeting,
yeah,
okay? There's a vote, there's a motion on the floor.
We're discussing it.
we're discussing
Yeah.
it still.
Go ahead.
So, and the thing is, being there is more important, being on the podium is more important. So, by being on the podium, all 5 of us can defend the board and can provide the
Yeah,
feedback.
it's a good idea, Commissioner Hamilton.
yeah, no, and this commission is important to other parts of the town, including those people who are retired or have got their 10 years in and can retire. Because if we lose water in Walpole, the Norfolk County will reduce all pensions, and people who are ready to retire but haven't retired won't be able to retire, because we went all through this years ago. So we need to maintain the water, because that maintains the budget needed for the retirement.
Okay, shall we take a vote?
We should.
Oh, he
Oh,
will
you're
for
the
breaking.
You're in charge, yeah, take the vote.
Well, wait a minute, no, let's make it 5-0.
Okay.
Okay, you want, so we'll wait for him, and then on the same issue, on the Article 7, there are some other town administrator claim, which I want to rebut at least here, because I don't think they will be in a mood to give us a proper forum on the town meeting. So the, one of the thing is that, The date of effective date, they said it's immediate, but this has to go to the state legislative approval. So that date has to be clearly stated, that the board will be there until the state legislation approves it. And it's not that the town meeting vote is the final vote. Because first of all, this is a charter change. It didn't follow the path of charter change. And we can legally go to the state agencies, Attorney General office, and make the whole RTM vote invalid because it didn't follow the charter change process properly as per the state law.
Yes, and that's if we get a chance to fight at the State House, because they have,
No, it's a process. The charter change is a process.
but
It
but
has
they
to be
have,
followed, yeah.
they have votes at the end of sessions that are very quick and don't get into any debate.
No, I'm talking
Yeah.
about this, you will not even go to the legislation if Attorney General office determines that the charter change process was not followed.
Okay, no, I agree.
So that's what I'm trying to state here. So the effective date which is mentioned in this article is wrong. It says that it is effective immediately, which is not possible. There's, in Walpole Charter or in state laws, you cannot remove elected board immediately. It has to go through the approval process, from RTM to the voters to the state legislation. And this statement itself is wrong, that, the effective date is immediately. So that's itself is wrong. So that was my input on it, yeah.
Okay, and as long as we're at the front of the stage, at that podium, I think we got a chance.
Okay. Shall we vote on that motion which is on the thing, to be on the podium?
I don't know if we have to vote on it. You
We
can,
have to vote on it.
okay.
We should vote to say.
Who
that.
seconded the motion?
I did.
You did that, yeah.
Okay, moved and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstain? Okay,
5-0.
5-0.
All right, I'm ready to go home.
No, we still have agenda, so that was.
I'm only
what
kidding.
No, what you passed is just to be on the podium, and what I want from this board is to, being the clerk of this board, I want permission from the board to write the rebuttal to this particular Article 7 memo.
So moved.
Moved?
Second?
Okay, seconded. Any question? Yeah, please.
No, I'm getting ready to say aye.
Yes, so that's a motion to, then, so you want to have a
Aye.
vote?
Yeah.
Okay, aye.
Okay,
Aye.
Thank you.
5-0.
all right.
Can I just, we're coming up to the MWRA water connection project, right? Now,
Yes,
Are we done with, shall we close this topic and move?
yes.
Yeah, are we gonna meet next Monday as well?
No,
It's a holiday, but we can meet next,
Tuesday?
well, that's a selectmen's meet then.
Well, I don't care what they meet.
Okay, and
For-
and
for
just,
We can meet then.
For what?
just on the Article 7, on October 20 is Deepavali, as a major festival. So there'll be, my attendance may be speculative, so
Well,
just.
Maybe
Just
we
to do
should
it.
postpone it then.
No, well, how about we, as a board, meet with the selectmen on their Tuesday night meeting? We can go in and request to be on the agenda.
Which Tuesday meeting?
The next selectmen's meeting.
Or we
It's
could do it
tomorrow.
the other way around.
It's tomorrow.
No, well, no, maybe not.
Next week.
Next week, okay. Can we all meet on Tuesday?
Yeah,
no.
Yeah, okay, John, there you go.
What's the holiday on Monday? What is it?
Columbus Day.
Columbus Day.
Columbus Day,
Yeah,
October 13th, yeah.
Columbus Day. Yeah, meet on Tuesday. You should have one more meeting before town meeting,
That's
just to
correct,
clear up any
yes.
odds and ends.
Well,
I'm gonna
again,
do.
we don't discuss this off
No.
camera, so we'll do it right here. This is our dirty laundry. That
Okay,
way,
we'll have to get a room, Terry. If we can't get here, we can be down at the water
We can be down to water.
Can
department.
we discuss that at last? We can finish the other agenda and then decide when to meet next time, or you want to decide now? No, you guys are discussing the date and time. I'm saying like, we can finish the
Yeah, we're gonna
agenda and
finish
then,
this, yeah.
and then we can decide whether,
Okay,
when to.
we'll do that. Yeah, okay, so we're at MWRA Water
Water
Connection
connection project,
Project.
yeah.
That's where we are.
Yes.
What I was gonna say, gentlemen, is Chairman Hassenegger has been following this minutely since its inception. So I'd like to, I'd like to know exactly where we are in the process of obtaining MWRA water. And I'm sure the people at home would like to hear that in a synopsis of what's going on and where we are at this current day, today. Can you do that, John?
Yeah, I'm looking for the bullet points here.
Yeah, so one thing you really pointed out well is this memo again, which was in RTM packet about MWRA.
Yep.
And that, the MOU with Norwood is pending with a $5 million payment to town of Norwood for infrastructure improvement in Norwood.
Hold on,
And
I don't think so.
so that's what it's written, I'm just
I
reading.
asked him personally in his office. He hasn't done it yet.
No, yeah, we asked long back, that's the point.
We asked to have that done many times, a
Yeah,
number of times. It
that's
should have been done in March.
Yeah. And the second point is, there are 3 points. The pump station construction cost, which is 5.2 million. And then water cost, whatever they are saying here, that, it will cost more. I'm like, in the same statement, they are spending around $1 million of water retain earning in this budget, in FY Article 2 budget. And they are worrying about this particular cost, because water retain earnings are enough to take both Norwood infrastructure upgrade and the pump station construct. In 10 years, it can write it off without loan. I'm just giving example, like if you're spending $1 million of water retain earning this year, and you can easily write this $10.2 million in 10 years without taking any loan. I'm just giving an example. I'm not saying that the town should do that. And so that the cost increase is not needed. There will be very less impact, and it's more of insurance policy. Like you pay extra for being insured, and.
Well, that's what, yeah. The way it was agreed is that there is no, the $5 million to Norwood is gonna be paid $250,000 a year for 20 years. That's a term payment each year. There's no borrowing, $250,000 can be paid every year. And my proposal was to have a capital insurance, or whatever you wanna call it, a capital fee for that amount charged to each ratepayer, in a scheme that would have the rates go like from $25 the first year, and as we get more customers and so forth over the 20 years, probably go down to $15 a year on each customer's bill. Matter of a cup of coffee or two every month, to pay that whole thing off of Norwood and all the piping and everything connecting to the MWRA. The MWRA, we waited, so they waived the fees, so we saved $7-8 million there. We're having the ratepayers pay the cost of hooking up with Norwood, so that's not a cost to our budget. That goes right directly to the ratepayers, just like this meter rental thing. The Mylard station, of all the piping, and everything, was $5.2 million. I proposed, we can excuse one of the years of the $2,000 that we put upon piping, and use that for any piping and pumping costs in that 5.2, to reduce that to 3.2. That 3.2 is you saw a picture of it. It's a pump station. It's like a yard house. It is not a $3 million building. I know that Sharon paid $1.1 million for their piping and their building, but that is not a $3 million building. people that live in North Walpole in these big houses, they got a 5-bedroom house with 4 bathrooms, that's $1 million house. This little pump station, 20 by 25, is not a $3 million building. So whatever that comes out to be, that will be that could be a borrowing cost, or could come out of enterprise funds, but it's, again, the value of that is, I mean, you can't even put a price on it. That's virtually nothing. We spend that kind of money on all kinds of things all the time. So there's really almost no cost to this, and we don't have to use the water unless we need it. If we need the water, if it costs 9/10 of 1 penny for the water we need, it's better. If we had to bring water trucks into Walpole, it would cost $5 a gallon if we don't have the water. So, I mean, there's no economic argument. There is no financial barrier to doing this. This is all smoke and mirrors and shell game. They'd love to borrow $20 million and have the taxpayers pay, over 20 years, 45 million for it. There's no need. There's no need to do that. And I think that's why we're being challenged. When the money powers that be heard that's not the game they want to play. So, I'll talk to anybody about that, and I'll argue with them about the real figures.
John, can I add a little bit of context? I should have said it before. A few years ago, I think it may have been 5 years ago, a Quabbin Reservoir, which is the supply for the whole metropolitan area, realized that Quabbin was so full of water that they had to dump the water out of the reservoir before it caused problems, and they dumped it into the Connecticut River. They dumped so much water that it would supply the city of Boston, which is by far the largest user. So the people that the town send, us people that represent the town, were saying, oh, wait a second now. There's use for this water. You can't just get rid of it because you already paid for it, right? We already have the infrastructure. It's all paid for, and we're just wasting money. Why don't we offer it to other towns who might want some of this water? But the problem was, there was $1 million entrance fee. Do you remember us
It was
discussing?
$7 million entrance fee. It wasn't $1 million.
Really, John?
Yes, I've got that in a letter.
I know. So we said, get rid of that entrance fee and let towns apply for this water that's going to waste. You win because you're getting revenue. Towns win because they're getting water. And long and behold, they did it. They put it out, and they said, you towns who want water from Quabbin, file an application, and John did.
Bill followed up on that. It was 50 million gallons
Right.
capacity that they were allowed. They had more, but they were saying for existing members.
They have
But the one they were turning open to us was,
there was safe yield of 300 million gallons a day. They're roughly using 200, 210. They said that leaves 90 or 100, and said, cut that in half, we'll save half for future, and that other, make it available for new towns who want to connect. And there was like 3 studies, a north study, a Metro West, and one to the south.
and we're the lucky ones, we're in the queue.
Right.
So some towns aren't in the queue, they'd love to take our spot. So we don't want any negative voters. It would have been nice, we could have had this all wrapped up already. But unfortunately, it's been dragged out, not by our lack of trying. But we're still pushing on it, I think, and I'm dedicated to push till we get an approval. Then the town meeting can say yes or no. I'm not gonna tell the town meeting how to vote, but I just wanna get that opportunity on the table.
Well, that's what I said, we're at a loss to explain.
Mr. Chairman, yes.
Now, I witnessed the MWRA bring water all the way up Route 1 to the stadium, which is very close to our 2 towers in South Walpole, the water tanks in South Walpole. that could be an emergency hookup, which we need. The emergency hookup we have now, and I haven't checked on it for a long time, but we couldn't use it because we'd have to have a fire truck pump it to us at the Norwood line. Now we're talking about a pump station. We can get water from Route 1 across from the stadium right to our water tanks. And it would not cost us any infrastructure change to our water infrastructure. That water could be fed into those 2 tanks at no cost to the town, except to buy the water and to get a delivery system to the 2 water tanks.
Yeah,
That's-
I think the whole town, the Walpole town is very big. There are 3 zip code, and the situation will change every 15, 30 years. We have to look for the future planning, and we are doing this MWRA project as a future project. Future also involves, finding new water wells, finding new connection, finding new.
Well, there are no new water wells.
No, that's fine, but the point is, we can't close all the doors, but we should keep on exploring new way of getting the water to the resident, and which is true that MWR is one of the option, and they may be another option in let's say 10 years later, 20 years later. So the point is, we have to keep on investing in those infrastructure for long term. The whole water infrastructure in Walpole is how much old, like 100, more than 100-year old? So that's what it is. It was not built for current population, so we have to.
And that's true, but the infrastructure is there, and we can add water in South Walpole, those 2 towers, without any modification to the infrastructure. And the important thing is, we need an emergency connection in case we have a problem, and it's very cost-effective to get that water from where the MWRA has it, right on Route 1, very close to our 2 water tanks.
They don't have it there, Bill. But I know what's happening here. A long time ago, maybe 35 years ago, there was a situation where the fields are now, where we hooked up a fire truck to the hydrant in Walpole and the hydrant on the prison property. Because it was, I can't remember what it was for, but you know how they have a big standpipe?
Yep.
Okay. And we have our standpipe that feeds the other side. We were checking out what it would take to supply the prison with water in emergency, or vice versa. Now, that's the only time I've ever heard of us interacting with the state, and we use the fire truck. So maybe somebody expanded on that?
Well, the stadium is getting water from the MWRA. And Siemens
This, then, I don't think.
Siemens is getting water from the MWRA.
No, Sydney, Foxborough is not in the MWRA system. Foxborough is not.
They brought the water system, they brought the water pipe
No,
right up Route 1.
The only thing I know is that the stadium has a recycled water from the Foxborough.
They used to.
They still have.
Well, if you go in the stadium,
There are only 2 places in whole Massachusetts where the recycling plant is there. One is the Rentham Outlet Mall, and the second is the stadium.
they used,
For installing that, but that's
they
what
used to be, when you use the toilet in the stadium, there was big signs in all the toilets saying, "Do not wash your hands," because it was recycled water. And that's why the MWRA brought water up to the stadium, because I believe, and I haven't been to the stadium,
You can go to the MWRA site.
it's not using recycled water anymore.
There is no connection to Foxborough as of today through MWRA. So your assumption.
I witnessed the pipe going right up Route 1, and I witnessed it
pipe
going
is-
down.
Yeah,
Everyone denies it.
Yeah, anyone can put pipe, any town can put pipe from anywhere to anywhere, but it's not MWRA pipe. That's what I'm trying to say.
Well, I want to go on record as saying I witnessed the water line going up Route 1. So we now have two water lines in Route 1, our water line and the MWRA water line. Are we fixing leaks on the MWRA water line? Or do we know when a leak is not ours and it belongs to the MWRA?
When did you think you did this?
Oh, when they were doing the construction on Route 1.
Here,
20-something, I'm not sure the year. I don't, I didn't make note of it as a year. But if you think if you're denying that a water line is going up Route 1 that is owned by the MWRA, put it on the record.
No, we,
all right, I'll deny it. I've asked Rick Mattson, who's been in charge of the DPW, who's been in charge of the roads all that time, and he swears there's no such water line, that we don't know of any water line like that. We've asked for maps. We've got secret maps from the MWRA that show there's no water lines that you're talking about on Route 1.
Well, I seen it
I
being
mean, I know you saw
constructed.
something, Bill, but you don't know what you saw. You don't know who was putting it in, you don't know the name
The
of the company.
MWRA crew, it was an MWRA crew that was doing it. And they were using flagmen, which is not allowed on Route 1 except for the MWRA. So they weren't hiring police details because they were using flagmen. And the only people in Massachusetts can legally use flagmen is the MWRA.
Well, you can prove your case to the Department of Public Works of Walpole because they say no.
so, but this is deviating from the actual topic
is.
about
It's a
MWRA
very big
water
distraction.
connection. Yeah, it's a distraction. So
It's terrible.
we have to focus on the current situation, which is getting the MWRA water connection on the Norwood, from the Norwood, and what is its impact on the town. Any other future project to get more water at some other place, we can discuss in different topic.
Well, I don't think we should be charging the ratepayers to get water from Norwood when we can get water from the stadium.
Well, they haven't voted on it.
So the town has
We're
not
not charging
voted yet.
anybody anything.
Town has not voted yet.
The
This is-
responsibility of the people like you and others to get other alternatives. The town supposedly has been drilling for water wells in Walpole, and they haven't found any that were whatever. So, at the time when this all gets brought to the town, any alternative sources that can be developed between now and then,
So I think we already discussed this, the 4, which is eminent domain, water line on Route 1.
what's that?
There's another discussion topic about water, eminent domain on water.
Yeah, I
line
don't
Route
know who they asked for that.
Uh,
So why don't we just skip over?
I didn't ask for that, but someone made a good suggestion. If by eminent domain, we could take a connection to the water line on Route 1, if it's in our town, and use that as an emergency hookup to South Walpole water tanks.
So I think on my personal experience, I have seen most of the businesses on Route 1, even on the Sharon and Foxborough line, they have come to this board asking for water and sewer connection, including new hotels and all. They're not going to Foxborough or any other town or Sharon to get a water and sewer line. So if those businesses know they can find water from other sources, they would have gone. They would not have come to the Walpole knowing that the water connection is owned by Walpole.
Now, Siemens was one of our biggest customers.
You are now distracting.
Yeah, let's stay on the topics
So,
here. Let's-
so
Well,
on-
you
on
said
the-
there's no
on the
customers.
On the Route 1, all the businesses from the Sharon to Foxborough have come to this board asking for water and sewer connection. So what it means that Walpole owns those pipelines. And Walpole is supplying to Sharon and Foxborough businesses water and sewer based on case-by-case condition. And they pay out of town rates, they pay out of town entrance fees.
Well, I haven't been to the stadium, but
No, it's
my,
not I'm talking about any businesses on Route 1, starting from Union Street to all the way to, Foxborough North Street. all the businesses have come to this board, and anyone can give you example. There are a lot of businesses who have come to the board asking for water and sewer from the Walpole. So it's a Walpole which owns the whole pipeline.
There's two water pipelines in Route 1. I saw it with my own eyes.
Please stop it,
You can
Bill.
sug-
You
suggest
keep
it to
going
the
on,
business,
it's not
yeah.
gonna help you.
Mr. Chairman, let's move on.
No.
I would think that we should be able to get to number 6. I'm not sure what the 55 Summer Street water
55
rebates or
Summer
whatever.
Street is a request apparently for,
From me. it came
from
me,
you,
yeah.
from Pradeep.
Yeah, so I had a doubt that, there was a water and sewer rebate given to 55 Summer Street. And here, the statement from Steph says that there was no rebate given. But I remember there was a out-of-court settlement with the builder. They had sued the board. Was it the same?
Well, there was a 40B at 55 Summer Street. It was the zoning board who handles all 40Bs, rejected it. The state then went back and says, okay, both parties figure it out, and they reduced the number of structures in there from like 300 and something to 200 and something. And then that was approved by the town. Subsequently, the people who were originally planning going to have some mixed use, there were going to be apartments and some standalone units, sold the proposal to a company that just deals in apartments, and that was approved. I just not aware of any water rebates or anything. That's what's puzzled me.
No, what was the out-of-court settlement which was signed and given to us like few years back?
Was it with the?
One of the builder had sued the Board of Water and Sewer for some charges.
I'm just not familiar. Do we have some documentation
We have
if we do?
to look at
Bristol
those.
Brothers.
Bristol Brothers has nothing to do with 55
Okay.
Summer Street.
So
They're
where
off
is
at
the Bristol
They're
Brothers?
off at the Renmar Road,
Yeah, I
and
know
they've
where they are.
sold it to, I think Pulte or, I mean,
Where is the Crystal Brothers?
Bristol Brothers
Off
up
of
near
Norfolk
mine,
Street.
off of West Street.
Okay. And there was out-of-court settlement
And
with them?
that was they agreed to put a water line from the Cumberland Farms that's on Main Street up, Norfolk Street, to complete a loop, and they also put a sidewalk there. It has nothing, 55 Summer
no.
Street's on the other side of town.
No,
Now,
no,
on
no,
that,
this-
we
no.
said, okay, you can, if you do this, you put in the water line, and I believe it was a 10-inch or a 12-inch water main that looped, because the way, and it's too bad we're not at our place because we got the map, you could see that coming from the south tank, the water goes out through Cedar Street, comes out actually to West Street by my house, and then there was another line that came down Route 1A coming north, and there was a gap. And what they agreed to do was to connect that so there would be a loop, which improved the fire flows in the West Walpole area, and we said, okay, you don't have to pay, and it was only water. Sewer, they have to pay the entrance fees. But it has nothing to do with 55. That 55 Summer Street's at the other end of town.
But there was a settlement, I'm not talking about
Yeah,
which-
there was no suit, though. They just
No,
said.
I'm not talking about Crystal, I'm not talking about Crystal,
Okay.
I'm not sure it was 55 Summer Street, but there was another builder who
Okay.
had sued us, and there was regarding the water and sewer charges, and saying that it is way high, because there was already a water and sewer connection to that property.
Well, that would have maybe on East Street, the Liberty Village,
Okay.
and the issue there was they had like it was an industrial thing. They already had a large
Correct.
main in there, and we were charging them based on the number of bedrooms and
bedrooms, yeah.
whatever, and that was resolved
Which was that East Street?
It was on East Street, yeah.
Okay,
Where
okay.
Liberty
I remember
Village
that,
is, yeah.
So the counting was, they basically said that the count of bedrooms are not correct, and the way we are charging the entrance fees was
Yeah,
high.
and the other thing is if you look at our fee schedule, they said, I've already got a 4-inch main because it was an industrial thing, and that's big enough to handle everything. I shouldn't have to pay an entrance fee. And there was some going back and forth, and they, settled on what, and I don't remember the details, but it was an unusual situation in that they already had, paid an entrance fee at one point,
Okay,
so,
yeah, so that was my confusion. So
Okay,
That's
so-
why I wanted to clear which
I mean, we could
builder-
probably get Rick would know the details on that. I remember sitting through that, but,
Yeah,
so it's not 55 Summer Street,
it was East Street, okay,
yeah.
thank you. And the last one was this sewer retain earning, and which is being used for culvert design on Summer Street. I think you, Bill, you yourself raised the objection in the Finance Committee meeting about using.
Yeah,
Yeah.
some of them can be connected in a sense to our water, and it's the water quality you're dealing with. My concern was two things. One, where was this culvert? I said, if it's in East Walpole, it has nothing, no connection at all. And they said, no, it's up here, and I go, okay, it's a stretch. But my real concern was the design might be, and I don't have the number in front of me at one thing, but Rick was then saying, oh, once you've got the design, it's going to be, maybe 300,000, 400,000, 500,000 to do it. I said, where's that money coming from? And that's the issue that I brought up at the Finance Committee, is it's one thing on some of these things, and we got a project right out here in the parking lot. That's one of these catchments thing that for stormwater, and this one we're not paying for, there was a grant, but there are things like that, if it's in the aquifer area, the connection is, it deals with the quality of water. It's starting to stretch.
Yeah,
some
that's
cases.
what my concern is that.
And I'm really concerned about, it's one thing you pay for a design and it's, $50,000 or whatever, and I don't have the numbers in front of me, but if that leads to, unless it's just gonna be a piece of paper that gets filed away, the intent is you're actually gonna construct it, and that's where you can spend some serious money, and that's where I'm saying, wait a minute. Let's think about what this is, and where is it coming from, because if you tack it on to the water rates, that's a huge amount that we've never looked at.
And that's,
So-
second thing, these are town-wide project, and the stormwater should be a separate enterprise fund, and should be funded
Yeah.
by either
Well, many
tax
towns
project.
have a stormwater surcharge,
Yeah.
they get a bill for stormwater, and it's, some of it's kind of, I think Milton's one of the towns who do it, but it ends up being like, based on the square footage of your lot, and you're going, how does that,
No, which
it's
is
very
correct.
controversial.
It's totally fine.
Yeah.
What this board is to protect the water and sewer enterprise fund. And what objection I have is that the water and sewer enterprise fund retain earning are used for the town wide projects, which is not a small amount here. I am seeing like $200,000 for one of the project, and another compliance is $150,000. So total $350,000 are being used for stormwater related issue, which should not be funded by water retain earning or sewer retain earning. It should be funded by general fund or the town fund, because it's a town-wide project. Why would a water or sewer ratepayer pay for the stormwater for the whole town? The compliance permit is for the whole town, not for just for the water and sewer users.
I would say anything that affects the quality of our water, and we outline,
Which is
with our
correct.
map, that's that I can say, okay, if it's someplace else, that's where I have an issue with.
That's
and-
why there is a provision in the state charter to have a separate stormwater enterprise
Yeah.
fund. And that's why it should be separate from water and sewer, not basically commingled with water and sewer. And that's the objection I have. That's the reason I just want to discuss.
Okay,
So,
let's move on to, let's not do number
Yeah.
one, the
I know, let's
MWA
skip
water
that.
connection over again.
anything about Jarvis Farm?
Yeah, no, I don't,
Okay.
but I do have
Me-
I fee, and you have cash, don't you?
I have meter to cash.
You
Do we have, do,
Meter to cash report?
yes, no, wait, I didn't get it. Terry, can we get a report from superintendent asking about the current billing situation? Because today we noticed that a bill was sent very late. This issue was for 7 Cherokee request appointment which came. The bill was sent more than 35 or 40 days late. And that is a problem. The town never informed the board that they are running a delayed billing. We never gave authority to the department to send late billings. If they have any issue, that should have been told to us in previous meter to cash reporting. And of late, they're again sending delayed billing, and the customer are facing problem. So the example is of course 7 Cherokee sewer, 7 Cherokee Street, where they got $3,500 bill, which is after 5 months, and that's very bad.
Okay.
That's it, yeah.
INI fee. INI stands for install and infiltration. This is where large entities dump their sewage into our sewer. And we had a program that said if you put in this amount of sewage, you have to take out amount of sewage, which means fix the leaks if we have any, and do a bunch of things to improve the sewer. And that's stood us in great stead, because we're one of the few few towns that did not have any sewer overflows. Matter of fact, we're the only town during one big problem. Well, anyway, we did that, and a company decided they weren't gonna pay the INI fee, and they brought us to court. And it didn't go to court, it went to arbitration agreement. Town agreed to not pay the INI, but not demand that they pay the INI. But in that letter of disinformation, I'll call it, that they sent to the RTMs, they say, we encumber the town legally, as though this is bad. Well, the fact is, the original fee was recommended to us by the town. The experts there recommended that we charge that amount of money. It was a ratio of 4 to 1. And it obviously didn't sustain, but they didn't bother to bring it to court, because all the other towns have it. And they're blaming us in that letter that's gonna help the RTMs vote correctly on Article 7. So, they're blaming us for something that they caused, and they're saying in this letter that we're to blame. It's truly remarkable the lengths they're going to get rid of an elected sewer and water commission. It really is. And you know what they said? They said in that letter that we had to stop vital meetings because there wasn't a quorum. Now, I can remember one time back, within the last 10 years, where we did not have a quorum. So they picked out one of those things and said, let's add that in too. I mean, it's unbelievable. But if you take that, they're great at word smithing. So you look at this, you say, oh, this elected committee is so bad, look at that. Oh, wow. But if you get into it, or there was a rebuttal, you found out that's really a lot of hokum.
Okay,
I'm done.
Make a motion to adjourn?
Move to adjourn.
second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed?